And we are recording. Welcome, everybody. This is Jan Barlow, Better Job Fit, creating your next and HR Disruptor Summit. We are excited to have a special guest today, Kristie Crone from Envision Dallas, formerly known as the Dallas Lighthouse for the Blind. Kristie has become one of my new best buds and in my inner circle, and I am just so blessed to have been connected with her. Kristie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Jan. I'm excited to talk about Envision Dallas and exactly what our mission is and the part that we can play in the community and the part that we can play with Better Job Fit.
I love it. You know, my friend, tell us a little bit. You're a native Dallasite, so to speak, but share a little bit. You have a very interesting journey, and I know it was very interesting to meet you at Tony Geary's event and to see the connections that you had, synchronicity that you had with my husband Buzz and his work at Special Olympics. So I would love for you to share your background with everybody.
I would love to. I am serving right now as the Director of Development here at Envision Dallas, but my journey with the nonprofit industry and philanthropy started about 9 years ago. Maybe before that, I've always volunteered. I was born here in Dallas. My parents always taught us to give back and do what we could, but the real world takes over. And I went into sales when I got out of school and wanted to, like every young person, just make some money and do the best I could. At some point, the company I worked for, I was working remotely, decided that they were going to downsize and the remote workers were not really in their plan. So I took some time off, and when it was time to go back, my husband said, when are you going to get a job? And I just kind of kept laughing, thinking, oh, eventually, but I just kept putting it off. And it, at some point, not even at some point, just one day literally changed my life. I woke up, I tell myself there's a higher power. Something said, today is the day that you're going to find what you need for the rest of your life. I clicked on it.
Wow. Really? I mean, you felt that was like
crazy.
That
I felt
voice?
Strongly. Yeah. Like that day was like,
I got goosebumps.
yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
And so, and it's crazy. That's even what led me here. But that day I logged in. The first job that popped up was Special Olympics, Texas. And the second one was a newly created kind of position that I ended up applying for both. But crazy, I knew I wasn't. And again, the same things happened to me over and over. So I'll get to that too. But I got to the point where I was obsessed. I said, I want this job. This is the job I have to have. And I interviewed and I thought, I don't know how well I did because I don't really know if I have exactly what they're looking for. Sales is sales, but when you get into nonprofit, it's totally different.
Right. Well, it's so funny because they don't think it's sales,
Exactly.
right? It is sales.
It
okay.
is
When
sales.
You're asking people for lots of money, that's sales,
right.
People.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it does translate, but it's definitely different. And there is that good part of having that relationship development. My biggest thing is I'm just transparent as I'll get out, and I love that people say, oh, you can sell anything. No, I can't. I have to believe in it and have a passion for it, which is, again, what led me to Special Olympics. So my brother-in-law is Down syndrome. So I've been around people that have disabilities for a long time. I met my husband when I was 14. He finally introduced me to his family at 15, and then we've just been part of it. My kids have been part of it. I wanted to make a difference at Special Olympics, and when I interviewed, I pretty much said, I don't know that I have exactly what you're looking for, but I need to be here. This is where I need to be. And I got the job. It was amazing. I was there for 8.5 years, really feel like I made a difference, really got to see what nonprofits were really about and how to work with athletes and people with disabilities. So back in the summer, I started getting these phone calls to interview for Envision Dallas. And I was happy where I was. I was like, yep, nope, I'm not doing that. Nope, don't need to. But again, this voice just kept saying, you probably just need to look at this. This needs to be what you look for. And I did. And I wondered if I could ever love anything as much as Special Olympics. And when I walked into Envision Dallas, I found it. The different type of organization that they have here just made me fall in love with it. It's still working with people that are marginally identified, that they're just not, don't have the same benefits that most people have when you're sighted versus unsighted. And the fact that we have a margin side and a mission side. So we are one of our services. So the mission, which I'm going to make sure that I get completely right.
Well, you've only been in the job for how long?
Exactly. I've been here not even 2 months yet.
Oh my gosh.
In October. And so it is, you know, to improve the quality of life for people and provide inspiration and opportunity that are blind and visually impaired through employment, outreach, rehabilitation, education, and research. And I think the employment part is what blows me away. We have a manufacturing side here in Dallas. We make all types of products, and we employ 85% of people that are blind and visually impaired.
That is amazing.
Then that money supports the services that we provide for people that can't afford their services. And I know you and I'll get into that, but so my history just, it's crazy how it just blends right into where I am now. And I'm just here to make a difference and to bring awareness of what Envision Dallas really is. It was one thing to work for Special Olympics. Everybody knew what Special Olympics is. They think they do. They don't really. To come to somewhere where they might have heard of Lighthouse for the Blind, but Envision Dallas is new branding and new everything. And we just want people to know what we offer.
You know, thank you. That exactly though, when we talk about synchronicity, when we talk about creating your next, right? And that's what's very unique about what Better Job Fit does in the creating your next workshop or working with clients. That's, you know, we got AI, right? Artificial intelligence, we have psychology, but there's the, you know, in the science, right? With the job matching, but there's the parapsychology that people, I think they sometimes think it's woo-woo, but synchronicity, you know, Dr. Carl Jung was back in the 60s. He literally was the one that coined that phrase and added validity to it with science. But the synchronicity of factors coming into play, right? And you even shared that voice, that bumps, right? Waking up one day out of the blue, right? You didn't say over a course of time or whatever. It was waking up one day and know, like, you know, that you were going to, you know, it's like that breadcrumb, right? You were getting those or receiving those breadcrumbs. And I love what you shared about how you went in there and said, look, I don't know if I have this, you know, what you're looking for, but I know this job is for me. Like that affirmation, right?
Exactly. So then when I get to Envision, the same thing happened. I really didn't have all the qualifications they were wanting for this position, but I walked in and I'm like, I have to be here. This is where I need to be. And I'm not exactly what you were looking for, but again, I think I'm the right person. And then you met David Stupay, our executive director. So David said, crazy enough, when he interviewed to come to Envision Dallas, said the exact same thing to Michael Monteferranti, our CEO. I might not be the exact person you're looking for, but I am the right person you're looking for. And it's just when you have that type of thing going on, and you just know you're in the right place.
And I think that people really need to tap into that, right? That's beyond emotional intelligence, right? That's higher self, that's self-mastery, listening to that higher self within. But I love, it's that confidence and saying, connecting the dots and saying, look, I don't know if I'm the right person. Right. But I know that I'm supposed to be here. Now, whether or not you get it, you know, they get it. I can't help you with that. But I just know, like, I know. You're just hoping that, you know, I think that when we get that sign, I think there's that committee on the other side, or that we can't see, that's moving some pieces and filling in the grid work for us and helping. So thank you so much for sharing that synchronicity and how you got your current position, because again, a lot of people are not really, they're so caught up in, I got to create a resume, I got to, you know, all the left side of the brain stuff, right? When it's really in the right side of the brain, where you're tapping into that higher self and that hearing the voice, so to speak, not the committee in your head that's trying to dissuade you, or
Right.
micromanage you. It's the calm, waking up one day and saying, being led to, okay, I'm going to go, let's open up the computer and see what we got. Right.
Sure. Sure.
I
It
love
was
it.
amazing to me. And even my husband, I mean, there were times when I said, I'm just not sure that I want to leave even Special Olympics when that came about. And he was so great. And he's like, you don't take something you don't want to take. Don't take something just because of this or that, make sure that it's the right thing. And, I fought it. I'm not going to pretend the first time I knew special, the second time I fought, I'm like, I need to be, I don't know. Right. But when I gave it, I said, okay, I have to listen because it keeps bugging me. It wouldn't go away. And curiosity just got the
Yes.
better of me. And I started researching them online. I'm like, well, this sounds really interesting. I think I do at least need to go hear what they have to say. I came in here thinking they're going to have to talk me into coming here. And
Really?
I'm thinking now I'm kind of begging. I wasn't begging, but I was like, no, really, I'm the right person. You need to have me. So I'm very excited. And obviously, then I got to meet you and Buzz at Tony Jerry's event. And that was just eye-opening and just such synchrony. Like you said, we were there. And I feel like I've known you my whole life. It was
Oh, my friend, I
great
feel the
to
same way. I
to
just
meet
really
you.
am excited. I'm going to be excited even more when we're already starting our collaboration. But I want to
Sure.
first ask,
Okay.
you talked about the mission, when I know you're going for your big meeting here in the next couple of weeks to really talk about KPIs and what that,
Mhm.
putting the action items behind the vision and mission, right, for 2021. But
Exactly.
right now, what is Envision uh, looking at when it comes to the mission?
Okay. So obviously, um, well, maybe not obviously. So it is our job here at Envision Dallas to make a place and give people that are blind or visually impaired the opportunity to live a quality, independent life. I think you'll find that a lot of people don't know that. So I want you to imagine for a second you wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden you can't see, right? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to call? We hope that that's us. We hope that it's Envision Dallas. We offer services for people that are blind, but people that are losing their sight. And at least they maybe have an opportunity as they're losing their sight. They know that they have maybe macular degeneration,
Mhm.
something that's going to cause them to do that, to have a place where they can go. So I'm going to go to the services side first and then end with the biggest service. So
Sure.
here we have what's called Esther's Place. It is an apartment set up for people to come in and learn how to use the equipment that will help them stay independent, from advanced things like talking microwaves to just easy tips. If you put something dark behind something light, the contrast is there and then you can see it a little bit better. We have these little technical things like little bumps that you can put on different appliances so that you know where to turn knobs to turn things on, turn them off. We have things that help you fill up a glass of water so that it doesn't overflow. Easy tips for things in the shower. So, put a rubber band on your shampoo bottle, put
I
two.
love that. That was so cool when you showed me that. I'm like, oh
I'm
my
going to do
gosh.
that. So there's different things that obviously will help people as they lose their sight. One of our other programs here at Envision Dallas is our assistive technology. So we have 3 trainers that teach people how to use technology because that is our world. Let's face it, it's technology and you're going to be lost without it. Smart technology is great because people can talk into their phones. They can have their GPS talk to them about take a right here, take a left here. But we have 3 trainers that teach people how to use that technology. There's software programs out there that will read to them on a website. What's great is people will come in. I think I shared that with you and Buzz. They'll call in for training and like, oh, it's easy for you because you can see what you're doing. Well, all 3 of our trainers are blind or visually impaired, so they can't see what they're doing. And they're teaching you by talking you through it, just like they had to be taught through it. What's nice is that our trainers also, which I know we're going to get to, offer free training for our blind and visually impaired people that are working in our manufacturing plant, so that if they want to get out of manufacturing and have upward mobility, that there's a chance for them to go and learn this technology so that they could get a different type of job. They could work in a call center or for really anything, which is, I know, something that we'll talk about with Better Job Fit. And then the other service that we offer, and it took me a while to really understand that. I knew that we had this manufacturing side, and I looked at it as a manufacturing side, but it is our largest service because we employ people that are blind and visually impaired. And obviously we can't employ all of them. Apparently there's 150,000 in this Dallas area and
Wow.
a few hundred. But they, that is the service. There is, as everybody knows, a very high unemployment rate right now. It's like 30%, but appallingly for people that are blind or visually impaired, it's 70%. So we just want to grow and employ as many people as we can, or help train them to have jobs outside of Envision. Or, so, I mean, you know, what do you do if you're, let's say it's me, I lose my sight tomorrow. I'm not scared any longer. I know that I could literally go down and talk to Al and Amando and Donna, and they would teach me how to do something, and I could still do my job, this job, without any sight at all. And I don't know, I mean, to change someone's life, to transform, to give them hope, just, yeah.
It's life changing. And that's what
it
I'm
is
saying. You know, again, this linear thinking of, you know, my background, having a brother that has cerebral palsy. So unlike you, you know, I mean, I grew up with, we didn't look at him as having a disability, right? I mean, we all have disabilities, you know, I mean, that's really what it is. But when, in having a friend that had macular degeneration, right? And knowing that she didn't allow that to stop her from living, you know, and, you know, working on the computer, cooking, baking. I mean, she was independent pretty much, and she had physical disabilities as well. So to be able to walk into Esther's place and to see the Scrabble game, to see exactly what you shared about people being able to integrate and do things with their family and with others, right? I mean, that Scrabble game, that's the same type of Scrabble game with just you know, that has the Braille on it, right?
Exactly. We have someone here who I just adore. Blake Lindsay is what I call him our ambassador. He's actually our outreach manager. He's done so many different jobs here, but when we walked into Esther's place one day, we saw all of these little tools, and even Blake said, hey, we need to go down and really learn how these work, right? So we went down, spent a whole hour with Wendy, our programs manager, and she walked us through how to use all of them. And the first thing I saw was Scrabble. I said, tell me about Scrabble. And so Blake said, what is Scrabble? Who would have thought that, right? Well, how would he ever be able to play Scrabble? Because it's just letters. You have to see what you're doing.
And Blake was born blind, right?
Born blind from birth, right? So he never knew that was even available. And we were showing him how to not only play the game, but what it felt like. He said, I could play this game. This would be.
I love it.
You know, he's married to a sighted woman. And so, yeah, there's just this chance for him now to have this opportunity to do something with her. There's Braille playing cards. There's Braille systems that allow people to, it's like labeling systems, okay? So you could Braille on a piece of tape and put it in a book. So maybe a children's book. So if you're a grandparent that's lost your sight, you can have that done, and you could actually read that book to your grandchild. They would see the pictures and they could see everything, but you're the one reading to them. And
wow.
When I see all of the things that are in place for people that are blind or visually impaired to truly still have a quality life, I just want to see that continue.
I mean,
people aware of it.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And I'm excited to see what we can do to help spread the word, because again, it's life changing, and people just really, and you don't need to feel sorry for people, right? You can provide empathy or share empathy with people, but they don't want your pity. They just want to know what they need to do to adapt to their current lifestyle. Right? I mean, a better lifestyle.
Exactly. And they, again, I laugh all the time. So I think you met Amy Britton too, our vice president of development. And she, I love that when she's talking to people, she says, well, they have exceptionalities, not disabilities. And so they're exceptional people. And, you know, they'll tell you, oh, I don't want praise for something I do that because it's crazy to me that there are things that they do that are amazing, whether they were sighted or not. And I want to definitely recognize that whether they're sighted or not, if they've written a book. So we've got two employees right here in this office that have written books.
Are you kidding me?
One is in the process, and then Blake Lindsay has written a book. Well, I haven't written a book. I don't know a lot of people that have written books. I'm impressed by that. Whether they're blind or not, I'm impressed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is
right?
Amazing.
I think so too.
When we talk about, your new position, right? What are some of the goals that you're really excited about moving forward?
Well, so my new position just kind of evolves day to day, but I'm very excited. So they brought me over as the director of development. So what that means in a nutshell is I raise funds for our programs and services. But I can do that through fundraisers, through awareness, through grants, through really just building relationships and awareness across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But I get to do fun things too. Like I'm planning our employee giving campaign here. And I'm so excited that 58 people have already, that are employed by us, have decided to have money taken out of their checks to give back to the mission. 100% of our leadership, 100% of our executives give back to the mission. That says a lot when you can work for an organization that they believe in it so much they're willing to give back. My goal for this position is truly awareness. I think we touched on that first. Mm-hmm. I know that people knew what the Lighthouse for the Blind was. I think they knew what it was. We started back in 1931 when Eva Cameron she developed or started this. She was on a train or something with her dad, and ember blew in her eye. She lost her sight, and she was one of those that was not going to let that stop her life and stop her from being independent. And she founded the Lighthouse for the Blind. It has obviously evolved into a lot of different things. Envision came in and took it over in 2018, which I hadn't even touched on, the military contracts that we have or what we're doing.
My gosh. Yeah. That I got to tell you,
right?
that is a phenomenal whole nother episode, because that is, when we talk about the manufacturing piece, I really believe that we need to, consider doing like a video of walking through and showing people about that, right? Because that literally is an amazing part of Envision, that really, when it comes to awareness, when people see, remember how we were talking about, it's one thing to listen, it's one thing to read about what they do, but to visit the site,
and
to see people working, interacting, and literally what they do, how they do their job. That's what blows.
It's awe-inspiring,
right?
Exactly.
And so we're going to put that on our list. I'm going to make that on our list
because it just all goes back to me and what I want from this position. And this position is not just development of funds and things for our services, but it truly is development of awareness, letting people know what we are, who we are, what we do, and why we're here. We're doing a community assessment right now to figure out exactly what this community needs. Do we need a low vision clinic? Do we need a daycare for children that are blind or visually impaired? We have that in Wichita. Envision is based in Wichita, and they acquired Dallas Lighthouse for the Blind. So now we have Envision Dallas. There are programs that we hope to bring down from Wichita. They're very successful there. I love their early development childhood center because it's children with and without sight. So it's very inclusive. I came from that background, obviously, at Special Olympics, and want to continue with people. It's crazy. I know that this is a weird year with COVID. I know that people are changing the way that they're doing things. What I found both at Special Olympics and here is it's waking up people to see what life is like without a lot of what they've had in the past, and opening their hearts and sights to people that are already living that way and have been living that way. for a long time. I mean, no touch, you can't see people. We're learning how to teach online. Well, that's where life is going anyway. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm a human touch person. I miss the human contact. But getting that word out that there are places like us that they can go and still learn that and still have face-to-face. We're an essential business. We didn't shut down. So how does that change life? It keeps people working. I think that was huge. So again, there's so many facets. I could go on forever, and I just keep.
Well, if you would,
ADHD comes
I
out
know
because
that's why I'm so excited, because we have so much to talk about. But would you share one of the employees, the story of the employee that came and suggested? I don't know if they suggested
I
to
love
David
that.
or what.
So Adriana, she's amazing. So this happened before I got here because I came in October, and obviously COVID was in full effect and still is. So we have an employee that works in the manufacturing on the sewing side of the manufacturing plant. And she came to our executive director and said, hey, I want to show you these masks that we've been making at church for people. And he kind of was like, yeah, I don't know, but took it to the executive board and they're like, hey, I think we can do that. I think we can use some of the sewing. We can adapt them. We can do these masks. And she literally grew that. So just an idea, she brought it up. It got taken to hire people, grew that. We started manufacturing masks. First, they made masks for everybody in Envision because it was an essential business. We had to be open. So why not have a mask? And then they've done $140,000 in orders since then. And we have a military contract that's pending where we will provide all of the military with camouflage face masks, which is crazy. I'm not sure when that decision is going to be made, but we're definitely have put our bid in for that, and they're phenomenal, right?
That is, I mean,
From
I
one
just love
idea.
that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yep.
right? That started from, hey, my church is doing this.
Yep.
She already knows her business, right? Because that's the sewing. She knows she's engaged enough in what and owns, right?
Exactly.
That's what the best part about it is, from an employee standpoint, feels comfortable to approach,
right.
Anybody in the company, especially leadership, and say, hey, and to have that environment to where they're open to listen, and then they go and literally take that idea to the executive, right? Leadership. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else that first of all, validating her idea, right? And really appreciating her engagement in what she does and how that was going to help. Not only this is a great idea for what we can do as a company, and then to have $140,000, I mean, and then more business. That's unfair. I mean, that's phenomenal.
And I think that you touched on a point there too. I think what's as exciting as the product itself is that whole hierarchy.
Yeah.
I felt it when I walked through. I wanted to be David. Like, we walked through that manufacturing plant. Everybody knew him. He knew everybody. I've learned since how to talk to people that are blind or visually impaired, letting them know you're there, helping them be guided. You don't move out of their way. They already know you're there. They can sense it. Just little things, but he knew everybody and everybody knew him. And they were happy to see him. And I thought, well, this is family. They're family here. And I wanted to be a part of that family.
I mean, and that's where, when we talk about employee engagement and what really makes people want to join a company or be a part of a company or stay with a company. I mean, when you think about it, what's the retention there?
I know, just based on talking to Blake, that when people get higher on, they don't leave. I mean, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, people have been here 25 years. I know that Mark's been here 30 years. So people have been here a long, I'm going to take that back. More than 30. I don't know how long she's been here, but it's been a long time. So yeah, they definitely come and stay and become bigger part.
And then you have the call center, right? That's what I love about it, because when we talk about Better Job Fit, it's all about, what are you a match to? That's the sustainability of the person within the company, right? Exactly. You don't have to be at one job for all the time that you're there. The best piece about that is you're moving people within the company. So they, if they want to go move to call center, then they can go and get some training, right?
Yeah,
With the
exactly.
tech support.
So our manufacturing is one part of the business, and then the call center, which we barely touched on. So we have a call center that we acquired. It used to be based in Richardson. When they redid our building, they brought the call center here, but truly as a revenue source. Not that's what they thought about it as. You know, it's a revenue source. It'll help sustain what we're doing. It'll provide revenue for our services and programs. And then they realized, hey, this is also something that people that are blind or visually impaired can do if they know the technology, and all of our things are accessible. So now our trainers, the 3 that I told you about, offer free training in the afternoons from 3:30 to 4:30 for our people that are on the manufacturing side. If they want to learn that technology and become more acquainted with it, then they have that ability to use that technology, whether it's to move up here with us into the call center, or if they want to move on. Not that we ever want people to move on, but we definitely want them to move up and be and better themselves and their quality of life. So,
well, and I love that. And we're working on, when I left, you said you had what, 17 or 19 job openings?
yeah, 17 to 19
I mean,
job openings, most of them on the manufacturing floor in the call center. Exactly.
I love it. I love it.
So we want to definitely stress that those are openings. Our priority is people that are blind or visually impaired, because that's what we want to employ. We're not trying to be exclusive, but obviously with the employment rate the way it is, it's our goal to lower that, at least in the Dallas area.
Well, and that, again, it's for those, because you made the comment about the percentage, 70% of those people that are blind or legally blind, unemployment.
Yep. So it was, I think across the country, it's around 30%. It's, changes obviously, but it's 70% for people that are blind or visually impaired.
Right. Yeah. When we, like I said, we got so much to talk about on forthcoming episodes.
Exactly.
What, when we think about you moving forward for 2021, I want to close with, what are your goals, or when you think about your vision for 2021, what would they be?
So my goal for 2021 is obviously to continue with relationships, to bring that awareness. So I'm looking for people that want to know more about us. While everything that I do is going to obviously be revenue generating, again, I have to go back to awareness. So I want to make sure that I would love my goal to be just giving tours and making sure that people know what we do and can see what we do. We're open every weekday. So tours are available to anybody that wants to really come see the mission. I'm looking for ambassadors, people that want to spread that mission, like you and Buzz and Tony Jerry, and people that have some of those connections that can really get the word out. My goal specifically is to raise awareness and raise funds to sustain this program that we have here.
Well, I'm very excited because, just our short time of knowing one another and being on the phone, and the brainstorming session that we had when we had our first call. My background, as you know, is in ophthalmology, and
Yes.
Still have connections to the ophthalmic networks, through several different companies. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do to help, and what Better Job Fit can do to help to facilitate that awareness, and really looking forward to what next, right? To seeing what wants to be created. So thank you so much, Kristie, for being here with us today, and just look forward to our continued relationship and collaboration, and just keep on keeping on, girl, because I'm excited. I'm just excited of what you're bringing to the table there, and they better hold on, because really 2021, you're going to be taking them to the next level. I hope they're ready.
I hope so too. I'm excited about it. We've been so blessed and so fortunate that during this pandemic, we never shut down, and we were, if anything, we're growing. We've had record years. I think that speaks a lot for itself too. And with your help and with other donors and people that are interested in helping us expand and grow this mission, I just don't think that there's any stopping us. So we're so grateful for friends like you and Buzz and the collaboration with Better Job Fit that we can just take this to the next level.
This is awesome. My friend, I look forward to talking to you again soon, and we're going to have that video tour so we can just really take that home and show everybody inside what that looks like. So I look forward to being able to, I can envision a link, doing a video and then of the manufacturing and the call center and being able to have a Calendly link.
Perfect.
That will allow people to sign up for tours. So
Sure.
I'm putting that out there to the universe, and we're going to have to probably get David or somebody else to give tours. You're going to be way too busy for that.
Absolutely. But we have a great tour guide. Blake will give them
that's true.
their lives. Yep.
That's true.
Amazing.
I can't wait to see that.
Cool.
My friends, stay on because I will end this meeting, but let me just stop the recording.
Okay.